All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Moderna's first In Focus event. My name is Zain. I'll be your host today. There is still going to be a few people joining. So as we go, more people will join. So I'm just going to share our slide now. Share. Okay. So I'm assuming you guys can see my screen. And today our topic is going to be on unlocking the power of Revit, advanced steel, and robot structural analysis. These are your big three structural steel design and modeling software within the Autodesk collection. Just to break down a bit on how our day is going to be set up, or how our session is going to be set up, we're going to start with a welcome and a meet the speakers. We're going to do a live demo, and then we're going to open up the floor for your guys' questions, so you guys can feel free to ask. We do have a Q&A set up, so you guys can go into the Q&A. If you do see a question that you are interested in, you will see there's a little thumbs up, which you can basically upvote one of the questions if it's something that a lot of people want to know. Okay, going to go through the welcome and meet the speakers. So again, welcome to the first In Focus event hosted by Moderna Design Centers. My name is Zain Suleiman, and joining to me today we have Vainant and Salome. And again, we're going to be talking about the link between your structural design software, mainly your Revit, robot structural analysis, and advanced steel. And I'll also be going through a live demo to show everyone how simple and easy it is to link your three software together. Okay, just about me. My name again is Zain. I'm a design technology specialist working on the structures at Moderna Design Center. I have 7 years of experience in the civil structural sector. I specialize in structural design, reinforcement pipelines. I started off as a draftsman and worked my way up to a BIM section lead, and that's before I joined Moderna Design Center. I work mainly on Revit, advanced steel, robot structural analysis, and I do know a bit of Civil 3D. Okay, next we have Vainant. Vainant, do you want to do a bit about yourself?
Yes, I can. My name is Vainant Steenkamp. Basically, a dedicated design technologist, also at Moderna AEC and Design Centers. Also, reaching 7 years experience, same as Mr. Zain here. I have plenty knowledge and experience in the construction side as well, for structures as well as the infrastructure like your water, stormwater, sewer, roads as well. So I do know quite a lot about Civil 3D as well as its extras, and also Revit, and still getting to know the advanced steel side. But if there's technical questions, I can also assist on answering those technical questions regarding the actual engineering of and analysis parts of the softwares and stuff.
Okay, thank you for that, Vainant. And last but not least, Salome.
So I've been part of the Moderna family for the last 18 years. I'm very happy, and it's amazing to see how the industry has changed and how Moderna itself has changed and grown over the years, and just from strength to strength, and to see the changes and help we've had with clients, and how they've grown with our assistants in just upskilling and helping with workflows. It's been amazing. So there's still so many opportunities, and yeah, so I've been happy to be part of this amazing group for so many years.
Okay, great. Now it's nice to have everyone here. I do see the attendees are coming up. So next we are going to move on to our live demo. If I just show my taskbar. All right. So now when it comes to your Revit, robot, and advanced steel, normally you'd want to start with an actual model that's either done in Revit or Advanced Steel. I'm going to start mine with a demo file that I created. So I'm just going to open this one up. Now, this is just a basic structure. I'm not worried too much about any actual design or anything. I just want to show the linking between the different software. Now, as you can see, I have a few concrete elements. I have some steel work. Now, I want to basically take this done, or what would be a done model, and I want to open it up inside of my inside of my robot structural analysis, where I can analyze this building and see if the members will be strong enough, if I want to design my reinforcement or any of that. For this, for the sake of this webinar, I am just going to be focusing on the steel work above. So first thing I'd want to do is, instead of just taking it straight through, recently Revit has stopped creating something called an analytical model, which is how robot structural analysis basically reads the model elements. So I'll go through my analytical automation, and I'm going to basically create those analytical elements. So this will open up a Dynamo script. Just doesn't want to, just give me a second. Open that up again. And I'm going to create my analytical from my physical elements. Select all of those elements. And my Dynamo keeps on disappearing. Nope, I don't want to do that. I think it's because I'm sharing my screen, so it's giving me a bit of issue, but that's okay. Let me try that again one more time. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to move it off screen so that I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to select my elements just so that this box doesn't disappear on me again. And after I've selected my elements, you can see that it selects only the elements. So I can select my levels and everything. It will ignore those selections, and then I can just run this script. And now I have my analytical model. So to take this through to robot structural analysis, Autodesk have made it very easy. I have a robot link here where I can go through my robot structural analysis link, and I can send my model to robot, and I can use direct integration. You can also send to an intermediate file. This will create an SMXX file, but if I'm going to use robot and Revit on the same computer, I can do a direct integration. This will basically allow me to send my model directly to robot. It will open the file in robot, so I don't need to basically worry I'm opening the correct file or anything. Now, for those of you, I don't know what software you guys are using currently. So we are going to put up a poll to ask what software you guys are currently using, just so that we get an idea of where everyone is sitting. I know a lot of people might just be using AutoCAD and they don't know what's the difference between Revit and Robot and Advanced Steel. So just a quick small description. Revit would be your main design center where you modeling your structure. It handles steel, concrete very well. It's also an architectural software, but you are able to do a lot of steel and structural work. So you should get a pop-up with this poll. If you guys would like, you guys can enter the software that you guys mainly use. I'm just going to move that off screen. But yes, so Revit does handle a lot of structural elements as well. You can set up loads, you can set up a lot of different elements for structural work. Robot would be your analysis software. So it would be where you'd go to design your structure, design your members. It would be your main place for getting actual results if your model will withstand all the forces that that's going to be placed upon it. Okay, I'll just give you guys a few more seconds to finish up with the poll. And I do see there's a lot of people who also use AutoCAD. There's also a lot more people, majority of people use Revit. Not a lot of people use Advanced Steel and Robot Structural Analysis. So as you can see, my robot has opened with the model already. Now, this is where you do your technical design, set up your supports, do all your different design criteria, set up loads. I'm going to just set up a few load combinations just so that we have something to test the software, this structure on. So if I choose, let's say, these 8 loads, I can generate these loads, and the software basically assigns those loads. Now, I want to see if these steel members will support the structure or optimize it so that it's a smaller member or larger member, whatever it needs to be. First thing, I want to do my calculations, make sure everything in this model is working fine. I have everything fine in my model, so I'm quite happy. I can then go through my design. So this is where I basically specify what loads or what I want to test my steel off of. So if I select all of these members, I can just copy all of the actual reference numbers. I'll create a new group for those. Did I not copy? I didn't copy those. That's fine. I'll just select these again. And I will specify what members the software should recommend. So I'm going to just specify that I want the software to recommend me universal columns for the member sizes that I would like. And I can use a code group design. So I'm going to save this one here. And I can basically set that selection into my code design. So this will basically run the calculation for these members. I can specify which limit state I'll be using. I'll use ultimate limit state for this. And I can just run my calculations. Here you can see it's telling me my members are fine, but there's also an optimal solution for this here. You can click on the name, see what its value is going to be, if it's going to be fine for you. You also have a ratio here. If I do want to change my members, all I need to do is select this change all button. This will tell me that, yes, it's going to change, so I will need to rerun my calculations. And as you can see, live inside my model, those members changed. Again, I would just want to run my calculations again and see that's fine. Now, if I want to take all of these changes back into Revit, I would come to my Revit and I would basically run my robot structural analysis link. And instead of sending the model, I'll update the model and the results. Now, I didn't do reinforcement, so I'm not going to worry about the reinforcement package. I'm just doing the analysis package. What's nice with the software is once you link the models, you can basically show your results, your structural analysis results inside of Revit as well. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, Venan, you want to speak about some analysis? Or the importance of analyzing your structural buildings?
It's very important for you to be able to make sure that your building or your structure is going to stand and span the complete lifespan and beyond that. And that's why analysis is so important. And that's always why we, as structural engineers, over design. And the nice thing about the software is we can use it to be more efficient, more accurate, as well as trying to eliminate the human errors that can possibly jump in, and be safer at the end of the day, and make sure that in these days that our designs is not gonna fall down on us whenever we will get to those points after the construction has been done, or if something is happening like a large storm or something, we don't want our building to fall over, or our actual warehouse, for example, to lift out of the ground. And that's why we use this analysis software, and that's why analysis is so important. And it's not just for the structure to stand, but also for the sake of keeping the persons and whatever is inside the building or the warehouse, for example, safe.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there's a lot of liability on the structural engineer's side, because I mean, if the structure fails to stand, or if a warehouse lifts, I'm sure the structural engineers are the one who a lot of the liability is placed on. So it is very important, especially on the structure side, to make sure that when you are designing, you are doing everything correctly. Okay, now I've basically imported that model, but you can see all of my changes haven't currently appeared. Now, as I said before, the only thing that robot actually looks for is that analytical model. Now, my analytical model has changed, but my physical model hasn't. So I have another Dynamo script, which everyone should have when they start with Revit. And this is to use my analytical model to create my physical for buildings. So again, I'm just going to select this option and select inside my model. I'm just going to move it off screen just so that it doesn't disappear again. So I'm just going to note that it disappeared. Let me just close it aside. I don't know why it's when it's sharing on the screen, it just doesn't want to stay on the screen. So I'm just going to select all my elements and
Nope.
it doesn't want to bring it over. Okay, and then I'm just going to run it on my side. But this will basically update my structure. Once the run is complete, you can see those members have now been adjusted to the smaller size that is recommended by robot structural analysis. One thing to note is if you do have something like concrete beams or something, it will take the analytical model as your reference. So it's always good to check after you've done import. I'm just going to select this here and reassign my beams to top so that I can basically have everything sitting correctly now. Now, that's the connection with robot. It's very easy. It's very simple. It works with direct integration, so you're not exporting to a separate file just so that you have multiple files. You can export to a separate file and import that file. It's Revit and robot make it so easy. You also have access to your results explorer inside of Revit now that I've linked the models. So if I just click that on, it'll check the model. And if I select something like my reactions, I can basically see inside of Revit, just give it a second. Oh, I need to hit apply. And I can see all my reactions inside of Revit. So you can import your full analysis inside of Revit. I'm just going to switch that off. And I'm going to switch off the view of my analytical model. And now we want to basically send this through to Advanced Steel. So those of you guys who don't know, Advanced Steel is your fabrication and documentation software for steelwork inside of the Autodesk collection. And all of these softwares are included in your Autodesk AEC collection, your AEC collection. So I'm going to basically send this model to my Advanced Steel now, and I can do that by going to my add-ins. You will need to install an extension for this, but once that is installed, we can just go to an export. I can export this here. Now, the thing with this here is when you're exporting between Revit and Advanced Steel, you would want to create a intermediate file. So this will create a steel markup language file or an SMLX file. That's just an intermediate file format so that Revit and Robot can basically read the same formatting. Okay, now one thing, it won't open directly inside of Revit, Advanced Steel. So I can basically start a new drawing, and I can go to my export and import that same model. I can see that it's asking me to specify a few members. I'm just going to choose that. And now I can see all my members inside of Advanced Steel. I'm just going to change the view from wireframe so I can see actually what it looks like. And I want to basically create my connections inside of Advanced Steel. I think I selected the wrong option. So let me re-import that. I'm going to import that again. And I know these are just gonna be the same size. So I just selected the wrong option here. I'm just going to match properties. Interface this bit. Okay. All right. So once I have all of these steel members inside of my advanced steel, I can go ahead and create my connections inside of advanced steel. So again, I'm just going to change from wireframe to conceptual, and I can basically design something like my base plate. So I'm going to create a base plate for this column here. I select my member, I can easily just select it and it will create a base plate for me. Now, what's nice with advanced steel is you do also have access to do joint design. Now, you don't have your South African standard, but you can work off the European code, and you can basically design your connections inside of advanced steel. You can also do connection design inside of your robot structural analysis. And we can basically do a check on this if you do have load cases. So since I imported it from robot to Revit, Revit also sends its load cases. So I can check these designs based off my load cases that I've set up inside of robot structural analysis. And you can run a check to see if it'll hold. And you can also print out that document. Now, if I want to have the same connection, I checked it, everything is fine, I want to have the same connection over all the different columns, I can just propagate the joint. This will send that same joint to all my other similar members. And let's add one more connection. I'm going to do a clip angle. Let's run a clip angle for this member. And I can basically propagate this one as well. Now, one thing that's important to note is not all steel members can be propagated or done for joint design. So you would want to use something like robot structural analysis to analyze all your other joint types or your connection types. But once I've basically adjusted those members, all I'll need to do to basically get this inside of my Revit is I can then export this model or this using my Revit exporter. I can go to my file and I can overwrite this file. Ideally, you want to save. I'm not going to do that right now. And inside of my Revit, all I need to do is synchronize, select that, load that file, that exact same file. And here we get a list of all the changes that have been made. So you can go through this list, see all the changes that have been made, select the ones that you want or select all. I'm just going to select the connections. And I want to apply all these actions. So I'm just getting a few notifications here. Just going to click OK to them. All right. And those of you guys who know Revit know that those connections are shown as a stick symbol if you have it on a medium display type. If I change to fine, there you can see those connections. Now, I didn't design these connections, but you would want to go through the full design of those connections. And there it pulls through to your Revit. Now, another nice feature within Advanced Steel is your fabrication drawings. If I just go through my numbering system, I can then produce a bunch of drawings by clicking a few buttons. So I'm going to use all one per sheet. And that'll basically run this command to create all my drawings. So a lot of the features that I've shown here are like available for training in our CCP courses. I don't know, Salome, do you want to take them through the different, or just a basic overview of the different courses that we offer, especially for
So-
the structures?
There is quite a few different options to look at regarding training, but what we would like to do is come and see you and just understand what you require, your needs, what you're struggling with, what your pain points. And then we do user assessments and we also do model audits. So from there, we can formalize the best workflows, best practices for your company and find a solution together. That we can follow what your path would look like, and then can apply the best practice with that. So that is one of the best, but we've also got our basic courses that we run, our fundamentals and advanced courses. We've got a training schedule, and then we've also got our workshops as well that we also can customize according to your needs.
Yeah, so we do offer a variety of different training softwares. So if you guys are interested in any of those, please, you can feel free to get in contact with one of our salespeople. If you want, you can put your email address in the chat and just say that you are interested, and we'll get someone to get in contact with you guys. Okay, so after I've run that whole process, I can come to my document manager, drop down my details, go to my up-to-date, and I can see all of these different drawings that is created. If I double click on one of these drawings, I can see it's created my sheet, it's created a detail member, as well as given me a basic bill of material. It'll also place it on a title block. And now what's powerful about this here is if you have a larger structure, it will do it for a lot of different members. So here you can see that's the base plate as well as my column member that attaches to the base plate. And there's the materials and weight for that. So it's quite powerful, especially when you're working with the 3 software, especially since it's Autodesk software, they link quite well together. And you can basically pull through different elements from the 3.
Yeah, that's basically the advancement between the 3 different types of softwares that you can use for your structural design and analysis of your buildings and warehouse frames, for example.
Yeah.
You can get a drawing from an architect in Revit, you can open it, you can do your own structural model. From there, you can quickly go to robot, analyze it, do adjustments, and even collaborate back to them, as well as if everyone approves it, you can quickly do your shop drawings inside Advanced Steel, add additional type of connections inside Advanced Steel, and bring it back to Revit, as well as, for example, robot structures. And if everyone is happy afterwards, you can collaborate it back. If it's on ACC or BIM 360, for example, all of the different parties can come together and build in models, see if everything is going to fit, is there clashes going to be, all those nice stuff.
Yeah, and since it's all the same type of software or same provider, if there are changes, you just basically repeat the process. Send the model in to robot and send it to Advanced Steel or synchronize between the 2. So it does make it a lot easier to do all of the drawings, all of the designs a lot faster. I mean, I didn't draw this model now, but we done the structural analysis as well as done fabrication drawings in less than half an hour. So there is a lot of benefit in using the 3 software together. All right.
See, we have a few questions here.
So what we'll do is we'll go over to our Q&A now. So please feel free to ask any questions that you guys might have in the Q&A. If you guys want to know anything more, or if you guys want us to expand on anything. First question from an anonymous attendee. Maybe for all the webinar, or for after the webinar. Okay, so maybe for after the webinar. I have a question regarding how robot calculates cracking deflections in models that combine both beams and slabs. Specifically, I'm using RC slab design component to calculate deflections, but but my slabs include integral RC beams such as upstand. Does robot take into account cracking in the beam elements when calculating deflection? For that, I believe you have to set up your cracking. You can set up cracking inside of robot. If you would like, you can post your email in the chat and maybe we can have a look at how we can help you with that. Also,
that can even be an additional CCP.
Yeah. Also, does robot consider potential overlaps in the thickness of the panel's beams elements? For instance, if there's a wide upstand beam in the slab, could this result in double counting of weight and stiffness locally, affecting the deflection calculation? So with that, what's important to remember is whatever you model inside of Revit gets created as an analytical link. When you do import it into robot, you do want to modify your elements just so that they are basically how you would want to design them. So adding offsets, adding different gamma angles, adding different shortenings or anything, you would want to set that up so that if you want to do your calculation for your reinforcement, it will give you what you are currently looking for. And if robot doesn't address the issue, would you recommend adjusting the modeling approach to improve the accuracy of the results? I would say that pretty much answered that. Yeah. Okay. Can you use, the next question, can you use different versions of the software, for example, Revit 2022 and Robot 2025? No, what's important to remember is if you are going to be using all three software, you would basically want to be using the same version. So if I'm using Revit 2024, my advanced steel should be 2024 and my robot structural analysis should be 2024. You don't want to basically mix and match. It will lead to inconsistencies and a lot of the times the models won't open in your other software. All right. Next up, we have, is this software compatible with Tekla? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too familiar with Tekla's file format. I'm not sure which software you are asking about, if it's Revit, Robot, or Structural Analysis. So if you could expand on that. Should I move the chat over to there? Yeah, so everyone can see what we're looking at. Okay, what are the main benefits of using an integrated workflow? When you're using an integrated workflow, the main benefit is your time reduction. You also have a better accuracy. So if, let's say I'm busy using, someone is busy designing the model while I'm busy doing my own modeling, or Vainan is busy with the design and I'm busy doing my own modeling. That can lead to inconsistencies where if he changes his member size, he'll have to verbally let me know that I need to change my member size. Whereas if I do an integrated workflow, we can basically, he can give me the SMLX file and I can just update my model directly. So instead of him telling me that my model needs to change, and you also have that communication errors. If you have a breakdown in communication, you might have an issue where whatever structure you actually want to have as the outcome isn't actually what you have in your model. So it eliminates a lot of the, how can I say?
Possible human errors.
Possible human errors. Okay. Next one, how do you manage data synchronization between these three tools, especially when multiple users are involved? So what you'd want to do is, if you are using multiple user approach, like I was saying with the SMLX file, you basically want to keep those in a shared location, like your ACC or your construction cloud or something like that. So if, Venan, do you want to speak about the construction cloud?
Yeah, that might be a good approach, either ACC or BIM 360, for example, for you to be able to move between and share those files between different users. If, for example, only a specific person is using Revit and another person knows more about Robot, you can do it that way as well. But I think we can also elaborate more afterwards on that specific topic.
So there's a lot of benefits, especially when you're working on something like Autodesk Construction Cloud. You also have your collaboration features where everyone can basically do your model alignments inside of the Construction Cloud, and a whole bunch of different features, but we're not going to touch too much on that.
We do, however, have a lot of ACC courses and BIM 360 courses, and people who mastered ACC and BIM 360, as well as BIM managers inside our office working with us, will even be able to come to you guys and assist you guys with those specific workflows in order to be able to perform it and master it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we have, hi there, I noticed that we have AEC licenses, which means that we can use robot analysis. Currently, we are using Master Series as design analysis package. Could you perhaps offer an informed opinion-based comparison between the two packages? I do see it as a benefit if we can work together, meaning the Autodesk AEC way. So I'm not too familiar with the Master Series. Venan, do you know?
Yeah, I'm also not familiar with the Master Series.
I'm being biased, but I think the robot structural analysis is the way to go. No, but there are a lot of benefits. I agree, there are a lot of benefits working in one kind of software provider. One of the big benefits is also we offer support. So if something is not going the way it should, you can reach out to our support and we will try to assist you there. So if you are working on an Autodesk, you have access to a lot of brains as well.
I see the question was anonymous. If you can send us your details, we can get in contact with you and then we can have a look into that.
Yeah, we can set up a sit down and maybe we can see how we can help you. We got another, just thank you guys. You're more than welcome. We're happy to assist. Next one, how do you export structural loads from robot and back into Revit? So if you want to set up your loads in Revit, when you do your direct integration, those loads will move over immediately. So if you have set up your loads and everything inside of Revit, set up your support structures, everything inside of Revit, then as soon as you do your direct integration, it moves over with all of that information.
I think if that person can also maybe provide an email address, we can create a workflow and send it through to be able to assist with that step-by-step process.
Okay, next up, how do you handle design revisions in Revit once a model has already been sent to robot and advanced steel? So ideally, you'd want your revisions to come from robot, but if you do get revisions, say from the architect, you need to move a column somewhere or you need to make changes to your structure, all you need to do is recreate your analytical model, send it to robot and do your analysis that way. And if you have already generated your fabrication drawings inside of advanced steel, you can basically send that synchronize between the two, and advanced steel will tell you that certain elements need an update and you can basically set those up for a revision, or if you want to just force an update so that it ignores revisions, then you can do it that way also, but ideally you'd want a revision added.
Just open that chat box as well.
Okay. All right. Next up, the Tekla uses a 3D IFC file. I believe most software is compatible with IFC. So as for the intelligence, bringing over the intelligence, I am not too sure with that. I'm not going to lie and tell you, yes, it can. But I can definitely check on that for you. If you want, again, you can drop your email in the chat. But we, I know you can basically
all questions is feedback from.
Yeah. So we do have a feedback form that'll be at the end, so you can input your email addresses and everything, but I'll get to that later. So yes, I believe it will integrate, but not the same way Advanced Steel and Revit or Robot and Revit works. You might lose a bit of intelligence, or there might be a few syncing issues, or there might be a completely different workflow to look at. But yes. Next up, what is the recommended workflow for a multidisciplinary team? So that's a bit of a bigger one. That I think is company
Yeah,
specific.
that depends on the company.
Yeah, it all depends on what you're currently doing. I wouldn't say every company has the same workflow, but again, if you guys would like us to come to you and we can have a sit down, look at your company, how you guys are working with their multidisciplines, and we can set up a workflow that will work best for you. Okay, Danielle Manfield at someone knows me. I don't know what you mean there. Hi. Okay, and the last question so far. Oh, my presentation mode went away. I think I just scrolled through the wrong page. Okay, and it looks like it's the last question. Do you need to map material properties to be in sync with various software platforms, specifically from Revit to Robot, or do these properties import along with the integration process? Yes and no. Certain materials will move over, certain won't. Since Robot doesn't really work with brick, you won't have a brick material to import over. But since it does work with concrete, if you have your concrete classes set up correctly and they're both reading the same language, you should be able to integrate those two pretty seamlessly. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Please feel free to ask any questions that you guys like, even if it's a simple question. I don't mind. We're here to help you. So please feel free to ask. Okay. The questions have stopped flowing through.
Currently, I'm also not sure if everyone can see the chat box, but we do know, especially for that person who asked regarding the collaboration between different team members. Like I said, it might be one guy might be working on Revit, another one on Robot. Part of this webinar series is the ACC part, and I think it will be the next section in this In Focus event, which might be, I think it's next month. I can't remember the exact date now, but we will be discussing the workflows through ACC, and I see it is on the 28th of March.
Yes, so we're going to be having a BIM In Focus webinar event on the 20th of March. So if you guys are interested, you can scan the QR code. It will direct you to a page where you can give your feedback, as well as some additional information on those webinars, as well as I believe it will have the links for the different webinars that you would like to be part of. So you have a list of different webinars that us at Moderna are here to assist you with.
You're also welcome to contact us. We can always set up a meeting or just a discussion, and then also just showcase on what your requirements are, what is available, and so on.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, please feel free to either call, send us an email. If you guys need support, we do have our support lines. We do host a lot of events, so if you guys are following the Moderna LinkedIn, you guys will get posts about all the events that we set up. So all of these events will also be posted on our LinkedIn. So if you guys want to register for one of them, we will be posting similar to how we done for the structures webinar. So
yeah, and I think just for everyone to know as well that we are here also to assist everyone in their workflows. And if there's something specific that you struggle with, that you want to design or to create a specific workflow for, or we can help you achieve that. And that is what we do. That is what one of our main focuses is on, is to help you guys in the industry become the masters, become better in what you do, and to design that structures, that architecture, that civil infrastructure to work perfectly, so that when it comes to the construction side of it, so that everything can work out, so that you can have as least as possible holdups during the construction time, and so that everything can be done correctly as well.
Yeah. So please let us know, how can we help you? All right. We have another question coming in. When I attempted to learn robot structural analysis in 2024 last year, I struggled with setting up the SANS design code as I couldn't retrieve it within the software. How can we access and integrate design codes that are not readily available in Robot? So Robot does have quite a few SANS design codes. Something like your connections, you might need to work on the British standard. So British standard is the one that closest aligns to the SANS codes. But again, you'd also want to do some sanity checks, make sure that you're not designing something that's going to be very small for a huge load. So yeah, you do have a lot of SANS codes already integrated into Revit. Robot. Yeah.
You can always afterwards take that analysis results and work through it. Just make sure, quickly scan through it if you know the SANS almost by heart, or even have them hand to hand next to each other, scan through it, make sure everything is okay, and take for your structure to be able to stand.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll leave this on for a few more minutes so you guys can get that QR code, scan it, give us your feedback, please. We would really appreciate any feedback that you guys have. If you guys don't like me, please feel free to let us know on the feedback. But yes, any feedback is valuable for us. It's just so how we can better serve our clients, who are all of you guys. Okay. All right. So I think everyone's happy. I've given everyone enough time to scan the QR code, and I think we are done with our presentation. Please feel free to get in contact with us. If you want, you can take a picture of the QR code and use it later if you are currently busy. And I hope to help everyone soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend and have a lovely rest of your day.